Buncombe, a survey that will help us answer an important question. How can our community recover stronger, better, and more resilient while reflecting the voice of the community? It will help inform what projects and programs we can take on as a local government to help advance your community vision. Before the storm devastated many parts of our community, Buncombe County commissioners were working to shape strategic priorities for the next 5-year strategic plan. In the wake of Helene, those priorities may look different. More than 1,000 of our neighbors have already participated, and we hope you will too. Share your input by filling out the quick 5-minute survey at engage.buncombcounty.org/envisionbuncombe. Questions include recovery themes and types of projects you would like to see carried out. The Helene Resource Center is now open at 94 Cox Avenue in downtown Asheville. Stop by for one-on-one recovery support, including FEMA and U.S. Small Business Administration assistance, help from North Carolina Disaster Case Management, info on free programs to make your home more storm resilient, like the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, and more. No appointment needed. Just come when it's convenient for you. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Free parking is available across the street, and the ARC transit stop is nearby. While the deadline to apply for FEMA has passed, please stay in communication with FEMA and provide any necessary documents. FEMA is offering the sale of a temporary housing units to eligible occupants currently living in FEMA-provided units and who lack a permanent housing option. Let's talk a little bit about how this works. Eligible occupants receive a letter from FEMA asking if they're interested in purchasing the travel trailer or manufactured housing unit they are currently occupying. If interested, occupants must sign and return the notice of interest form. Interested applicants will be provided information on the sale process and requirements. To buy the unit they're living in, occupants must lack permanent housing, follow the rules of their license agreement, and agree to key conditions, including getting hazard insurance, ensuring code compliance, covering relocation of utility costs, and accepting the unit as is. FEMA is using the national average U.S. General Services Administration sale price of similar units as the base sales price. If eligible applicants are not able to afford a unit price, they can petition for a reduced price. Eligible applicants who do not want to participate in the sales program can continue to live in their FEMA-provided unit temporarily until the program ends with verifiable progress towards their long-term housing plan. And I'll say here, please remember that FEMA is a part of the Resource Center that is located at 94 Cox Avenue. So if you want more information on that sales program, please stop by again Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The SBA Business Recovery and Resource and Assessment Center, which is at the Asheville Buncombe Chamber of Commerce, has closed. Applicants can call the SBA Customer Service Center with questions regarding their application. That number is 800-659-2955, or you can email disastercustomerservice@sba.gov. That's one word, disastercustomerservice@sba.gov. For people who are deaf, hard of hearing, or have a speech disability, please dial 711 to access telecommunications relay services. Learn more and apply at sba.gov/disaster. If your private road or bridge was damaged during Tropical Storm Helene, there's a state program that might be able to help. The North Carolina Private Road and Bridge Program was created to support property owners across Western North Carolina who are impacted by Helene. The program focuses first on fixing private roads and bridges that are the only way an emergency service can reach homes where the property owner lives for more than 6 months of the year. It also prioritizes repairs where multiple homes, businesses, or recreational areas rely on that road or bridge. To get started or learn more, visit buncombeready.org. Right-of-way debris pickup has ended in Buncombe County. We encourage residents who know of right-of-way piles that have been along the road for several weeks to call the One Buncombe call center at 828-250-6100 and report those so staff can start making assessments on those piles. If you have applied for private property debris removal, make sure you have submitted all the required paperwork as soon as possible. The deadline for residents and local businesses to provide all the necessary paperwork for private property debris removal is May 15th. So the application process closed, but now you have some time to get that necessary paperwork turned in. This will ensure that crews have the available time to look at your application and get it processed as quickly as possible. If you have questions about your application, please call the One Buncombe call center at 828-250-6100. Previously, we asked county residents to email the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for concerns regarding the private property debris removal program. However, we got the unfortunate news that due to technical difficulties, these emails have not been going through. We're very sorry for that inconvenience that this may have caused. And now we ask residents to forward or resend those emails and concerns to Debris Management Helene. One word, Debris Management Helene at buncombecounty.org. Buncombe County staff will review your message and triage your concerns accordingly. You can also call the One Buncombe call center at 828-250-6100 to report concerns. Helene recovery programs available to county residents include Agriculture Crop Loss Program. If you are an agriculture producer who lost crops due to Helene, a new program can help with monetary losses. Covered losses include damage to reported crops, farm roads, nursery stock, commercial trees, bushes, vines, farm equipment or farm buildings, and greenhouses. Applications will be received through Friday, May 2nd. If you have questions or need assistance applying, reach out to Buncombe County Co-op Extension at 828-255-5522. Another program is the North Carolina Disaster Case Management Program. The free program is available to guide survivors through the recovery process. After you complete the initial needs survey, a case manager will help you to make a recovery plan that fits your needs, help you find available resources, and work through challenges caused by the storm. Call 844-746-2326 or fill out the intake survey at buncombeready.org to begin getting the help you deserve. And now we would hear from David Smiley, Program Director, Appalachian Sustainable Agriculture Project.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for having me. I'm David Smiley, ASAP Appalachian Sustainable Agriculture Project's Local Food Campaign Program Director. ASAP is an Asheville-based agricultural nonprofit whose mission is to help local farms thrive, link farmers to markets and suppliers, and build healthy communities through connections to local food. Our service area is all of Western North Carolina as well as the Southern Appalachians. I'm here today to talk to you about one specific program we offer. That's our Appalachian Farms Feeding Families program. As an acronym, it's AFFF, a difficult acronym perhaps. This is our second iteration of this program. It was first launched during the COVID-19 pandemic in response to farms having a product without market opportunities. As many of you know, the restaurant scene here in Buncombe County, as well as Western North Carolina, is a massive market outlet for farms, and that essentially disappeared overnight with the pandemic. So we have farms with food to sell, as well as many food relief agencies we work with seeing a doubling or tripling folks that they were serving, families that we were serving. So we were able to procure funds and match those farms with products to food relief agencies who were seeing increased hunger issues, food access issues, and families served, and be able to provide a budget to allow those food relief agencies to purchase grade A and diverse product. Within the second iteration in response to Hurricane Helene, we again are acknowledging economic uncertainty as well. And so with that, this is a dual benefit program in that we want to both pay farms for their product as well as feed our community. And so with that, there are two iterations this time around. We have Appalachian Farms Feeding Families ECE, which stands for Early Childhood Education, so essentially preschools, and then Appalachian Farms Feeding Families Restaurants. So similar programs with slightly different audiences. And so thanks to support from a few of our grant funders, which I'll acknowledge in making these programs available to our communities, Community Foundation of West North Carolina, Dogwood Health Trust, Nantahala Health Foundation, Farm Aid, Pine Gate, WNC Bridge, United Way, Big Brothers Foundation, and donations to our Appalachian Grown Farmer Relief Fund. Starting with our Appalachian Farms Feeding Families ECE program, our aim is to serve early childhood education centers, also known as preschools, and predominantly CACFP sites, which is Child and Adult Care Feeding Program. It's a federally reimbursed preschool program. And so within that, we are providing budgets to applying preschools so that they can purchase product direct from farms. Preschools are awarded either $500 up to $1,500, dependent on their preschool size. This grant is available to preschools across West North Carolina, so all 23 counties. Applications are currently open, and we are currently approving applications on a rolling basis. Quite a few preschools and farms therein are already working together and have budgets for purchasing. So how does it work? The preschool applies. Many of those preschools come into the application already with a farm that they would like to work with. And as an organization, we want to prioritize those relationships as well. So if a preschool names a farm they want to work with, we're all for it, and we'll provide the budget and help them move forward. So with that, if they don't yet have a farm they want to work with, we're prioritizing farms that were significantly impacted by Helene to help them recover either from infrastructure loss and or economic uncertainty. And with the acknowledgement as well that Helene recovery is a long-term process, we're certainly not through it. And this cash flow to farms early in the season, and both our Appalachian Farms Feeding Families program pay farms up front for distribution across the season, because we know that much of their cash flow has been disrupted in repairing on-farm infrastructure as well as economic uncertainty. And so with that, we'll pair those farms up with the preschool, and we'll develop a sourcing plan. So that could be delivering food for snacks at that preschool for full meals, or if it works best, a CSA box for families to take home. So again, that's our Appalachian Farms Feeding Families ECE program, Early Childhood Education Program. A similar program that we're administering at the same time is our Appalachian Farms Feeding Families Restaurants Program, AFFF Restaurants. And so within that, our acknowledgement that the restaurant scene here in Buncombe County, as well as across Western North Carolina, is such an important outlet and economic driver for our communities, and especially farms. And it will be disrupted for some time into the future. So again, dual benefit. We want to help restaurants maintain their staffing as well as their relationships with farms while paying farms for their products as well. So many people benefit therein. Restaurants can decide whether they want to use it to buy CSAs or local food for their staff, perhaps if they're not yet back open, or just want to, supplement perhaps reduced hours for the staff, or if they want to use it for supplementing their local purchasing budget. Entirely up to them and what works best for their restaurant business. We know they know their restaurant better than anyone. So within that restaurant supply, it's $1,000 up to $2,500, dependent upon number of staff members employed. And many of those restaurants are coming in because They source product every single day. They already have those farm pairings and farms they want to work with. And so we're honoring those relationships and helping them move forward. And some of the ways we're scoring that application and rubric therein is prioritizing those restaurants who have had infrastructure damage, significant economic loss, and a long-standing relationship with farms and local sources, which are all named within their application. That program is available across 18 Western North Carolina counties. Again, applications are open and we are approving applications and have approved about 10 to date. How does that program work? Very similar to that ECE program. We'll approve applications. We'll make those farm and restaurant pairings. Money goes straight to the farm, and the farm and the restaurant decide how they want to move forward, what that ordering looks like, how many weeks that order will stretch on into the future. So far, let's see, we have about 10 awards. 7 of those are in Buncombe so far, with 4 of those farm pairings being Buncombe County farms. For more information on those programs, you can go to our website at asapconnections.org, asapconnections.org. There you can also find information about engaging many of our programs and how to better find local food, farms, farmers markets, restaurants that support local, and much more. If you don't enjoy using the internet or just want to talk to somebody, you can call our office Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5 at 828-236-1282, 828-236-1282. That's everything I have, and thanks for having me this morning.
Thanks, David. I think some of our folks might have gotten their county government acronym bingo card filled out today, so that's exciting. Next up, we have Garrett Foreman with Duke Energy, who is joining us remotely.
Hi, good morning, and thank you for having me today to provide an update from Duke Energy. And I just want to start by saying thank you on behalf of the company to our communities and our customers for your partnership over the past 6 months. Helene was one of the most impactful storms in our company's history, and we've really been humbled by the strong partnerships with local, state, and federal officials, by the resilience of our communities, and by those who are now doing the hard work of long-term recovery. And we're committed to standing side by side with our communities as they work toward a full recovery. And for us, that means a few different things. It means rebuilding infrastructure and putting permanent solutions in place that make the most sense for our customers. It means protecting reliability for those customers, addressing vegetation issues, and implementing technologies that make our grid stronger and smarter so that we can reduce the number of outages for our customers. It means assisting them with account questions. And finally, supporting long-term recovery for the communities that we serve. We are proud to recently announce new grants totaling $500,000 from the Duke Energy Foundation for those organizations that are leading the really important long-term recovery work. And this spans everything from rehabilitating waterways to providing assistance with food and housing to repairing private access roads and debris removal. And so those organizations are doing a lot of the great work that's really important to supporting the community in the long term. And the Duke Energy Foundation is really proud to support those efforts. And a few of the organizations that we are supporting here locally include ones like Asheville Greenworks, Riverlink, the YMCA, and Habitat for Humanity. So the wide range of needs that we know the community will have for the foreseeable future are ones that we want to support as Duke Energy, supporting the local communities that we're proud to work within. And we're really proud to be providing this funding. But again, it's just really important to note that Duke Energy is here for the long term, that we are walking side by side with our local communities as they work toward long-term recovery in the aftermath of Helene. And we just couldn't be more grateful for the partnership of those communities in the 6 months since the storm's impact. And so we appreciate the ongoing efforts of all those who are involved in the recovery work, and we're proud to be part of that picture.
Thank you, Garrett. We appreciate that update. And Garrett, if you'll stick around in case we have any questions at the end for Duke. And then finally, we will turn things over to Deborah Campbell, Asheville City Manager.
Thank you, Lillian, and good morning. My name is Deborah Campbell, and I serve as the city manager for the city of Asheville. Thank you all for your continued support as we recover from Tropical Storm Helene. We are on day 217 of our emergency response and recovery efforts. Today, I'll share recovery progress updates on storm debris removal within the city limits, stream bank stabilization, and French Broad River Park's recovery. And I'll close, as I always do, with expressions of gratitude for Helene-related recovery efforts, but also for cleanup efforts that occurred in honor of Earth Day. I'll start with the storm debris removal update. As of today, over 697,459 cubic yards of storm debris have been collected across the city of Asheville. 250,646 cubic yards of debris have been collected from our waterways, and 377 properties have had debris removed through the private property debris removal program within the Asheville city limits. Contractors should complete the punch list for the remaining debris in the right-of-way in the next couple of weeks. Storm debris removal in other areas continues, including waterway debris removal and the private property debris removal. The process to clean up our city is extensive, and management of our natural environment is vital to long-term resilience. Our stream banks are critical in maintaining high water quality as well as the velocity of streams and rivers during heavy rain events. City staff are in discussions with Buncombe County and community partners regarding the various opportunities for stream bank repair. This includes submitting projects to the Emergency Watershed Protection Program. This program is funded through the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Natural Resources Conservation Service and is managed by Buncombe County Soil and Water. To ensure the community has the most up-to-date information, the city launched a stream bank stabilization webpage today, April 30th. You can find this page by visiting ashevillerecovers.org, then selecting natural and cultural resources under focus areas. It is important to report if your property or stream bank was damaged during Hurricane Helene. These reports are essential for documenting the full scope of damage and accessing critical funding and mitigation programs. Damage can be reported online by visiting www.buncombecounty.org or by calling 828-250-6100. The city of Asheville has taken a significant step forward in its infrastructure recovery efforts by posting a request for qualifications for design services to rebuild the park system on the French Broad River. This milestone marks the beginning of a design plan to restore damaged city assets along the French Broad River and establish a new vision for a more resilient and accessible riverfront. The project area encompassed 5 linear miles or 200 acres of frontage on both sides of the river, stretching from the western side of the city limits downstream from Hominy Creek to just below the Jeff Bowen Bridge. The city seeks to accomplish this project with funding from the FEMA Public Assistance Program, with significant supplemental funding from the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Relief, CDBG-DR program, and other private and public funding sources. While this is an important milestone to be celebrated, the completion of this project will take several years. Using a phased approach, public access will be maximized throughout the duration of the project, allowing as many amenities as possible to be open for public use. In conjunction with storm recovery efforts, the city continues to advance its capital improvement plan as well as bond projects. The integration of these initiatives ensures a coordinated effort to strengthen Asheville's infrastructure and economic stability. As the project progresses, more information about community input opportunities will be made available. I'd like to thank all the dedicated staff who have worked tirelessly over the past 7 months to reach this exciting turning point. It has been a true collaborative effort with the recovery leadership team and the following departments: Capital Management, Asheville Parks and Recreation, Communication and Public Engagement, Finance, Planning and Urban Design, Public Works, Transportation, Sustainability, Community and Economic Development, Information Technology Services, and the staff in the city manager's office. I would also like to invite the community to properly dispose of their hard to recycle items at the Hard to Recycle event this Saturday, May 3rd, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Reynolds High School. Items that will be accepted include small appliances and TVs, batteries and scrap metals, books and cardboard, food-grade styrofoam and white packaging, cosmetic and cleaning product packaging. More information about this event can be found by visiting ashevillegreenworks.org/heart2recycle. And as usual, I'd like to extend continued thanks to the mayor and city council, all of our dedicated City of Asheville employees, our other partners in the county, state, and federal government, as well as our private and nonprofit partners who continue to work tirelessly on recovery efforts. I normally close with that message, but today, before I close, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the collaborative effort that made a real difference in our community over the past 2 weeks. A big thank you goes out to the City of Asheville staff, NCDOT, Target, and Asheville Greenworks for organizing and completing not one, but 2 litter sweeps along Hendersonville Road and in multiple downtown locations. In total, 36 volunteers came together and collected 45 bags of litter, helping to keep our streets and public spaces clean. I also would like to thank all the other organizations who engaged in cleanups around the city, including Explore Asheville, Riverlink, and Mountain True. We truly appreciate your efforts and all the organizations I didn't name who took time to pitch in to keep our city clean in honor of Earth Day. Now I'll turn it back over to Lillian.
Thank you. And if we have any members of the media who are joining us, I know I saw John Boyle on the Zoom. We will open things up for questions now.
I do have a question for you. Lillian, I sent this one to you earlier, so you probably saw it, but it's about debris, and you might be able to handle it, or Ms. Campbell or Ms. Pender, either one. Whoever can answer it, I'm fine with that. I'm just going to read you this question. It's not very long. Are you aware that if debris was put out on the right of way before March 1st, before the deadline, if it still has not been picked up, it is not going to be picked up? And residents' only way to get help with debris removal in the right of way is to go through the private property debris removal program, which has a deadline of Tuesday, May 15th, as y'all mentioned. The only reason I found this out is I called Buncombe County and got a response that FEMA failed to do what they said they were going to do. So I was hoping to get a response to that from the appropriate authorities.
Yeah, Ben, would you pull up the debris slide that we showed earlier? And we touched on this some, but so a couple things with that. The deadline to apply for the private property debris removal program has passed. It's April 15th. The deadline of May 15th is actually the deadline to get all of your paperwork settled with that process. So Those are two different processes. We are not taking new applications for private property debris removal. But like we were showing on the slide, concerns about private property debris removal can go to debris management Helene at buncombecounty.org, debris management Helene at buncombecounty.org. If folks have questions about the status of their private property debris removal application, where they are, obviously we got thousands of those, they need to call our One Buncombe call center at 828-250-6100. To say that FEMA did not do what they said they were going to do would not be an accurate way to categorize that. So FEMA, in how the debris removal process works, FEMA works for the county. The county has engaged with them for the for debris removal altogether. FEMA tasks the Army Corps of Engineers. The Army Corps of Engineers hires a subcontractor, who in this case is Ash Britt. But as FEMA is working for the county, ultimately, we're not done until we're done, right? And so that process is continuing. So these are the options that we are displaying on the screen that community members have in order to access their resources. And Avril is, yep, if there are piles in the roadway, I live in Swannanoa, as I tell everyone every week, and you're tired of it. We see the piles on the side of the road, call 828-250-6100. You can report those. We do have a list of hotspots where they're continuing to pick up those piles. So it's not done yet, but we're getting closer to being done.
Thank you, Lillian. That's very helpful. I think the upshot of her question you just covered was there's not going to be debris left. I mean, are y'all committed to making sure that all of it gets picked up?
That's out, right? That has been placed out before the deadline. But if folks are starting to clear debris now and moving it to the right of way, no, that's not going to get picked up.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And then I had a question for Ms. Campbell on a different subject.
Good morning, Jen.
Good morning. I was trying to figure something out for a reader about homelessness and the $225 million HUD emergency grants that y'all got. I've heard different numbers about what might be earmarked for homelessness. One person said $25 million, and then the county would match that, or they've pledged to match that. But I know some of this also is in the works. Can you speak to what the tentative plan is right now as far as what might be allocated for homelessness recovery?
So, John, I don't have that information off the top of my head, but you can go to our website and get that information. And hold on, I'll let public information. Come on, Dower Hitch.
Hey, John, how are you?
Hey, Dower. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So can you repeat that question for me so I can make sure that we can get that information to you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to clarify for a reader if the city, through the HUD, the $225 million HUD appropriation, has committed or tentatively committed. His understanding was about $25 million, which the county would then match to homelessness recovery efforts, which would include infrastructure and operations.
Sure. It sounds to me like the question has to do with the buckets that are in the CDBG-DR action plan, which we're still waiting for HUD to review. So I guess probably the easiest thing is if you can shoot me an email with that question, I can make sure that we get to you what those different buckets are with respect to this question. And if you go to ashevillerecovers.gov, the entire action plan with the dollar amounts in each of those different buckets is available there. So if you want to do that first and see if that gets to the root of it, and if it doesn't, then feel free to give me a little bit more specifics and we can get some clarity around that question for you.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll root around on there, see if I can dig something up. And if I can't, I'll bug you with it.
All right, sounds great. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Del.
All right, any additional questions? John, I'm not going to email you back. I'm going to consider that one done.
Yeah, that's fine. I think we covered that thoroughly. Thank you.
Cool. All right. So a reminder before we close this out, our election staff are going to be moving to 35 Woodfin Street starting tomorrow. They're going to join planning and development, permits and inspections, the air quality agency, and environmental health in this new consolidated government services center in downtown Asheville. You can always check your registration status at buncombecounty.org/vote. If you need in-person assistance with any of these departments, please visit them at their new location at 35 Woodfin. There's surface parking available right in front of the building for free, so you can park there. And so all of those departments have now relocated to the government services building. That's 35 Woodfin Street, and that includes planning and development, permits and inspections. So if you're working on those rebuilds, the air quality agency, environmental health, really important for folks who have wells. They are all new in the new consolidated government services center just next door to 200 College Street. To stay informed about Helene recovery, bookmark engage.buncombecounty.org/Buncombe Recovers. Sign up for phone alerts by texting BC Alert to 99411, or just give us a call at the One Buncombe call center at 828-250-6100. We appreciate you joining us today. Our next briefing is Wednesday at 11 a.m. And reminder, that will be our new schedule where we go once a month on the first Wednesday of the month at 11 a.m. And so the one next week will be our community briefing for May. Thank you.